of all the things that's been done, I'm going to tell you, that has been one of the most impressive ones.
These highways up in East Arkansas, Northeast Arkansas, while we may not have the population some other parts of the state have, they're critical to the importance of the state and the nation.
We have a lot of traffic that comes through our community.
The Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department met with the Paragould Chamber of Commerce to celebrate the opening of the first leg of the Highway 412 Paragould Bypass, the latest leg to help increase traffic flow through Northeast Arkansas.
By having this bypass, this is going to relieve the community of some of the traffic. And by relieving of some of the traffic, it'll make for a safer place to travel in for our citizens who have to go back and forth to work or to the grocery store or wherever they may be going. I think that by having 18-wheelers on the thing, I really think that's going to help our traffic.
We're always trying to catch up with growth more than stay ahead of it, but we think really this has helped us not just catch up, but stay a little ahead of the growth in Jonesboro and Paragould. So we think this is not just a Paragould project, we think this is a Northeast Arkansas regional project that's going to be good for everyone.
And one thing I did want to talk about is I think our area is stronger when we're working together. That's one thing I took from Northwest Arkansas. They've been working together for a long time, and they've bonded together and promote those projects together. And communities that can step up and help themselves, I was talking to the mayor about this at lunch, are in a better position in the future, I think, going forward.
The first request for a bypass at Paragould was back in 1963. Back in 1992, it started becoming more of a reality, but that is still a long way from getting the bypass completed.
For them to have that kind of leadership for the future, I thought was amazing. I really did, because in '63 there probably wasn't even 10,000 people here.
You know, sometimes you hear people that think, well, this idea just popped up and I didn't know anything about it. This has been in the works and in the long-range planning stages for a long, long time. And it really got serious back in the 90s.
Except that I will say that in '98, when we got the minute order, I'd been the mayor for about 11 months. And I said, man, holy cow, we're going to get a bypass. And of course, what I didn't know when I first got elected mayor is that nothing happened, even in my office in a day's time. And so when I found out what a minute order was, I was told that a minute order says that it's a good project, and when the funding is available, then it will be done. That's what a minute order meant. It did not mean that, hey, next time we have a free minute, we're going to be working on it.
We really have the western section that we should be able to begin work on in the latter part of next year, 2016, and then eventually we'll have to add 2 lanes to the entire bypass to make it 4 lanes. The other part that's really important too is the connection from Paragould over to US 67. US 67 should be completed up to the Walnut Ridge-Hoxie bypass next year, and we have plans to 4-lane US 412 all the way out to US 67. So we think there are a lot of great things going on in this area, and we just wanted to take an opportunity to come celebrate.
Because I think when they're both done, then I think that will be a huge asset to our traffic in Paragould.
Even with this being such a major asset to the region, the biggest hurdle out there is still funding.
It is all about funding. That's some of the biggest concerns we've had since we've had to delay almost $350 million worth of projects so far this year. The only thing that we can do is manage our state revenue, and that's one of the big things that everybody has to understand is 70% of our construction program is made up of federal dollars. That means as soon as we pay the contractors for the work, we get 70% of that payment back from the federal government, and they're entering into a cash management mode where they're not going to provide full reimbursements back to the states. And with the state revenue really in a flat to declining situation because motor fuel tax revenue is down, we're not in a position where we can really carry the federal government any longer. So Governor Hutchinson has established a highway funding study group. The group has had 2 meetings so far, and a lot of the information in the 2 meetings has been, the history of needs and funding at the state level. We know that we need more investment for highway improvements at the state level. The question is always going to be, how do you get there? Motor fuel taxes have been the traditional way to generate revenue for highways, both at the federal and the state level, but consumption is declining. And when consumption is declining and motor fuel taxes are based on a gallon of fuel that you buy, that means that your revenue is declining. But at the same time, people are driving more. there are more miles being driven. People are just using more fuel-efficient vehicles, and I think the talk at the state and the federal level is whether the fuel tax is a sustainable way to provide investment for highway improvements, or whether we need to find some other source of revenue.
Even with the citizens of Arkansas passing the Connecting Arkansas program and the Interstate Rehabilitation program, they only affect 4% of the total highway system in Arkansas. But the people of Paragould are still excited when looking to the future.
I think anytime that you're doing something that continues to help the growth of the community long term, it makes a difference. There has been a lot of projects that's been done here that's made it a whole lot better, and I appreciate them looking at us in this area, in this region, as an area that needs the help, and they provided that for us, and so I'm appreciative of the Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department.
For more on this story and many more, be sure to check out the latest issue of Arkansas Highways magazine on Issue.